And Ohio has its first human case of the bird flu in the state. The Ohio Department of Health says a man working as a farmer in Mercer County came in contact with dead birds that were infected by the virus. Now, his current condition isn't known, but experts stress bird flu is almost never transmitted from person to person, and they say the risk to the general public is still low. And as of today, the CDC reports 68 people have been diagnosed with the bird flu nationwide.
Our senior health correspondent Monica Robbins digs deeper into this issue and some other health headlines.
A lot going on in the health and medical world today. Let's start with the first confirmed case of bird flu in Ohio. Joining me now is Dr. Payal Kohli, our Tegna medical expert. So how concerned are you about bird flu becoming a pandemic?
You know, honestly, Monica, I'm not that concerned quite yet for a few reasons. First, this virus has been around for a while. It's not a new virus like the COVID virus was, and it hasn't mutated enough to go human to human transmission. Now, that's not to say it won't do that in the future, but it hasn't happened so far. Second, we have an effective vaccine. We're only selecting certain groups to give the vaccine to, but there is an effective vaccine. And finally, treatments like the Tamiflu are actually effective against this virus as well. So I think we need to keep a close eye on things, but at least at the time being today, I'm not that concerned that it's going to be the next COVID pandemic.
Well, we already have a case in Ohio. Are there basic things people can do to protect themselves now?
Very much so, and I'm so glad you asked that because, of course, it's flu season, so hand hygiene is really important. But especially for people that like to have eggs in the morning, have their milk in the morning, there is some concern that potentially raw milk or undercooked eggs or undercooked poultry or beef can transmit the virus. So I would strongly encourage people, at least while the numbers are high, and we have cases here in Ohio, that you cook your eggs fully. That means cooking the yolk as well. You make sure that all meat products get to at least 165 degrees internal temperature. So fully cook your poultry and your beef, and make sure you stay away from that raw milk as well.
So scrambled eggs from here on out.
That's right, scrambled eggs, little cheese on top. Yeah.
What about your pets? We've heard that pets can get bird flu as well.
Certainly they can, and we're seeing an increase in this population as well, both dogs and cats. So if you take your pets out to the park, make sure they stay away from any dead animals, any feces from the geese or the ducks or anything like that, and also potentially water that those animals may have played in. If the ducks are swimming in the pond, make sure your dog's not drinking that water.
I have to ask you one more question.
Okay.
Your reaction to RFK being confirmed as health secretary?
You know, I think my heart stopped a minute when I heard that that's what had happened. And of course, as a physician, I'm deeply, deeply, deeply concerned that the misinformation that was started during the pandemic may propagate under this, administration. So that's my biggest concern, especially because the HHS looks over the FDA, looks over the CDC, looks over the NIH, which does a lot of biomedical research. So I'm hopeful that, things won't change too much under his leadership, but I'm concerned that it may start to create a trend where people mistrust science, they mistrust vaccines, which we know are life-saving measures. In fact, they got us out of the pandemic, and mistrusted a lot of the things that have brought us this far.
What do you hope people do on their own, do their own homework?
Yes, and go to trusted sources. So I think, as we said during the pandemic, there's so much misinformation out there that you don't want to get caught up in what someone is saying. You actually want to rely on the facts, and that means going to the NIH, the FDA, the CDC to really try to understand what's out there. Talking to your doctor is always an invaluable resource.
I do it every day. Dr. Kohli, thank you so much.